Welcome to another episode of the For the Culture Podcast, soccer podcast for us, by us, talking about your section of black culture and soccer. Got your boy here, Grego here. We got a whole new Team Chocolate going on here today, this week, baby. Like, we all up in here. We got 4 squares of chocolate ready for you, man. Once again, joining with me is the homeboy, Yogi, from River 293. What's good with you, man?
Man, I'm not ready to go back to work. I want another pandemic.
It hasn't even stopped yet. That's the thing.
You gotta finish this one first.
Exactly.
Just throw another one in there. Give us the Black Plague or bubonic plague or something. I don't care.
I don't know if I'm going to go because like they have bubbles and shit on their skin and face. I'm like, nah, that one you can keep. Down here to my right, we got our man L from ents FC. What's good with you, bro?
Yo, it's good. Chilling, man.
And the person down here below me, I have been trying to get him back on the show. And because he had this complaint back over summer where he wants to be on a podcast where he doesn't talk about the Henny Derby. And then, of course, I finally get him on here, and it's the week of the Henny Derby. So, hey, he's got nobody to blame but himself. But, hey, it's all good. We got Carr from Featherstone Flamingos, bro. What's good? Welcome back, man.
I will say, when I made that comment, it was mainly, don't bring me on to talk just Henny Derby. Like, don't make that the sole focus of the episode. And we tried. They're just, every week there's something going on, and just, it didn't work out.
I mean, we have 3 grown-ass adults, and then me, and, trying to deal with responsibilities and shit. And I get it. But yeah, we got Henny Derby this week, so yeah, we gotta make sure that we talk about that. We missed last week. We got all the schedule just all jacked up. But hey, we're back here. We're here to talk to you. Like podcast apps, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Audio Boom, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, all of them, and of course the FTC, UTD, YouTube.
Damn, Rego, how many damn stations you own? You doing radio too?
Dude,
shit, you like the Steve
We'll touch some radio next.
You never want to. You never know what podcast apps people use, because not everyone's an Apple person. Some people they do other shit. So
that's what Spotify's for.
Right. Well,
I smell broke in here. I smell broke.
Apple messed up their whole podcast app. They made it worse. It worse.
So yeah, wherever it is that you find us, we're glad that you're listening to us, because yeah, man, we got a little bit to catch up on from last week, but yeah, we just got some fresh stuff to get into this week. Of course, it's an extended international week because of COVID. Instead of 2 games, you got 3 games. The USA's played 2. A lot of drama's going on right now with the USA, and we're gonna get into that. And like I said, it's Henny time, in the culture, so it's about to be a good time. But I just wanted to ask y'all real quick: have y'all listened to the CLB yet?
Yeah,
I get one little light run through. But
yeah.
So what are y'all thinking?
Run-throughs.
So what are y'all thinking?
It's extra mid, in my opinion.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's not his best work for
it's not.
For all the shit he put us through. It's not standing up to the expectations.
The only song I bang with is Knife. Now You Talk.
And that, and You Only Live Twice. I like that one as well.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of Views, where it got all this hype, it got all this attention, and then it was just okay. Like, there's some good songs on there. The first half of the album sucks. The second half got a lot better.
Yeah.
And that fucking Way Too Sexy is a terrible song. I'm going to stand by that. The music video's funny, but the song sucks.
It just has a catchy hook. That's pretty much all it is. That's just catchy.
So y'all remember when J. Cole dropped, I can't remember the name of the album, but he dropped the album and it wasn't like a summer album. I think it was last year.
Wasn't it For My Eyes Only?
Yeah.
KOD?
Yeah.
Yes. For My Eyes Only. Okay. It wasn't a summer album. It was like a fall album. It was like an album like you vibe and chill to.
Okay.
This, if he dropped this at the beginning of the summer, Way Too Sexy is like the summer anthem. Like, it's getting blasted.
That's true.
But it's the fall, and you're not really clubbing like that anymore. Like, people, if he drops Drop that in the summer.
It's about to be cuffing season, so
yeah,
it's a whole different vibe. Like the playlist changes up from summer to the fall. You like, come on, baby. Like I'm trying to get you home and all this. I'm about to, take you inside the bubble and everything and show you what's really good.
I'm like Weston McKennie,
bruh. But like, because I'm still trying to get over Donda. Like, so like, if you could compare, which one would you say is better?
I haven't even listened to
CLB, because I'm not listening.
I'll go CLB.
I'm not listening to that trash.
Kanye got no burn.
Like the listening parties that didn't catch y'all didn't like the house in the middle of Soldier Field. Like,
we already know what Donda is going to be like. It was going to probably be something similar to Yeezus or it's the Life of Pablo, but worse. I have not listened to it, but that's just my guess. With all the bullshit that's been going on, it's the Life of Pablo, but worse.
I'm not playing no Kanye album because he thought slavery was a choice. Secondly, I ain't playing no goddamn Kanye album because he done charged black people for a damn listening party, so y'all can't figure out what songs y'all like and don't like. No, I'm not listening to that trash.
Nothing at all. No, not even a little bit.
27 songs. That's too many songs. I don't have time for 27 songs.
Is the album good or is it trash?
I haven't bothered with it either. So,
all right, so I don't know why you asked that question. Next.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure. Man. Like, I wanted to make sure that we're good, man.
I don't have time for Kanye. I don't have time for it.
I tried. What's good with your TK?
Yeah, what's up?
This man is on his vacation. He said, I still got to record and see what's up.
That dedication right there.
Right.
Yeah, man. I'm on an isle, a mile-wide island somewhere in the Gulf. I won't reveal, GPS specifics.
But that's what's up. I mean, there was one good thing that came from Drake's album, and it's just a subtle reminder that Andre Lauren Benjamin is still that motherfucker. And it's just a shame that, we get so little of him, and I think that's what makes what he does that more special. Because for those of y'all that don't know, what Drake decided to do on CLB was leak out a cut from what was supposed to be on Kanye's album with Andre 3000. And everybody's like, yo, where was this? What happened? And that's a shame. It's just a shame because the streets need Andre. The streets always need Andre in their lives, man.
These are two man children that are beefing, and somehow 3000 got involved in it. I don't know why. That seems wrong.
How do you beef with 3000? How do you beef?
Oh no one has problems with 3000.
No, I'm just saying like how do you just say, hey, we just got to appreciate what we have because we don't get it that often. And just go with it. And for whatever reason, Kanye was like, "Nah, this cut wasn't working." But the one thing I actually found out was kind of interesting was that apparently he only recorded that track like a couple weeks ago. Like the shit was in real time. I was like, "Yeah," I was just chilling and like, "Hey, I went ahead and just dropped a few bars real quick." But whatever's going on between Kanye and Drake. Streets don't need that right now. Streets don't need that.
I think what happened is the song didn't get used because Andre cussed in it, and Kanye was trying to have like a clean album or whatever, and he didn't know. So I think that's why the song didn't get used. But then for some reason, Ye put a diss verse on it, and Drake caught wind of it. He was doing an interview on Sirius XM and leaked the track. And
people paid it for no good reason.
Kanye's really trying to tell us he couldn't add that to the album. He had 27 other songs, and you tell him you can't put one more.
You know what the funny thing
is, man? He charged the community for a goddamn listening party. Next,
you tell him you can't bleep out a couple cuss words.
Just silence the audio. Like, hey, we have all done our fair share of podcast production. Like, we know, like, we can just easily just silence that audio real quick, keep the music going, and keep that thing rolling. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. But here we are.
You're right. I think the thing is that maybe no one's brought up is he was trying, or maybe I guess highlighted, but like the pure essence of the album that he was trying to capture. And then I think there was a good highlight on Instagram Reels from what's the radio show? Owen was talking about it. Basically, it was kind of dissing on Kanye about it, but it's like, hey, Andre said he wanted to make the verse, sincere, so he didn't think it would convey necessarily without the cursing. And I think that was more along the lines of why.
Yeah, but hopefully, whatever it is that hopefully you guys are enjoying at least some of CLB. I said, Donda, we got nothing for you. It is what it is. Got to go with God on that one. But speaking of going with God, we gotta head up on this these World Cup qualifications, and we got some drama on our hands apparently because we ain't won a game yet, and
it is no drama. If you want to,
ain't lost a game either.
But that's the thing.
If you want to see drama, come look in USL League One. That's drama. That is art.
Talk about that fucking league right now.
This ain't no drama.
We will get to that.
2 games.
We will get to that.
Some Ford Madison shit right now. I'll draw in games right now.
We will get to that shortly. But no, of course, because like y'all have seen the drama on social media, like because even though we haven't lost, we haven't won. I think given the expectations of the U.S. national team, which for me has always been way overblown, even with what we have, I don't think that they know how to win in tough environments yet. Because, I mean, we have guys at top clubs in Europe now. But at the same time, where in Europe are they going to get an environment like they have in El Salvador, where you got to have like armed guards protect you from taking a corner kick? They don't have
Europa
that.
Conference League.
It won't be that bad. Maybe, hopefully, but yeah, like
maybe send all of our best players in England. Maybe we need to send them to like Poland and Russia. Yeah, send them there.
Somewhere where they hard living.
Right.
Hard living, man. I mean, you
won't get hit by the battery can. They'll figure it out.
But I mean, because like we talked about this, offline plenty of times the past couple of days, and personally, I think that the onus is on Berhalter, honestly, because I don't think that he's necessarily like called the best lineup for each match. Because like the first game against El Salvador, he didn't have Brooks at center back. U.S. agent Pulisic, he was out because of COVID, so he wasn't available. But even with that, I don't think Conrad did all that great. Aaronson's been okay in both games. Like I personally, I think that if it had been left up to me, I would have switched him and Reyna. I think Reyna took on the 10 role, and Aaronson was out wide. I would have switched that. For some reason, I just like Aaronson better as a 10.
It was the other way around. Okay. Aaronson was playing there, and Reyna was out wing, and they should have switched it. Aaron is playing the winger for Salzburg, and Gina's playing the 10.
See, that's what happens when U.S. Soccer puts out a bad graphic as far as where everybody's lined up yet. But
well, let's say FOTMob didn't help with that as well because they had it that way as how the U.S. set up.
But in the Brooks one, I'm willing to give that a rate because Brooks' hamstring only allow you to play him one game at a time, and I'd rather that be on home soul.
I mean, I definitely get. I'll say this much: the one thing they did get right is, of course, starting our man Miles Robinson. That's like, I think they found Brooks's partner. Like, that's your guy. I think that Team Light Skin is in at center back all day long. As long as they're healthy, that's who you go with. Everybody else is basically fighting for backup spots.
So you saying he's sliding in the DMs first?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, course, me, L, TK, we've seen everything up close with Miles and what he's doing, and it's not a shock. It's really not. I just think that everyone outside of Atlanta is they're
just catching up.
Yeah, and like I said, and he's definitely held his own, even despite the goal that we gave up against Canada. That really wasn't really on him, but yeah, I think that he's a lock as long as I don't think he's going to play on Wednesday just because we got a game on Friday, but as long as the time is there, he's a lock. He's an absolute lock.
Yeah, I think that was the one decent thing about these last two games is I think we know what the back four is. You've got Dest when healthy. He's probably going to be right back. He struggled. He definitely struggled in both El Salvador and the half of Canada. Then you have Miles and John Anthony Brooks, and then you have Anthony Robinson on the left. So you now have a back four, and you have Tyler Adams being able to shield them. So you at least, like that five, you're good. And then whoever between Turner and Stephen, doesn't really matter. They're both going to be good enough to start there. So at least your defense, and that's the one thing the U.S. has done relatively well, is they've defended perfectly fine. I mean, the goal that Canada scored, it was just a collection of errors.
Yeah.
I mean, Yeblik gets burned. Miles isn't able to block the cross, which, is what it is. John Anthony Brooks is completely ball watching. Matt Turner's not responding off his line. He was kind of flat footed. So, you mean, it's like that was four players that all made mistakes where if one of them does something different, that goal probably doesn't happen. But that is what it is. The attack, however, is the issue. And
we still have
that's been the issue. Even in the Nations League final, they were struggling. In the Gold Cup, for most of the matches, they were struggling. Like, their attack has consistently been their biggest problem.
Yeah.
Which is weird, which I feel like is the odd part, is because you would think with the attacking talent that the U.S. has gained between U.S. Agent, between Gio, between Arison, Conrad, healthy Tim Whale, like you see all those guys. And when healthy, you think, okay, this should be a good enough attack. And it just hasn't worked. And maybe that's just because no matter who you throw out the nine, they're just not enough of a threat.
And that's the thing, because I think that we have guys that could lead up front, but I don't think they can lead up front by themselves. And I think
Josh Sargent can't lead up front. He can't.
No.
I think that
the other thing too is like every guy in that attack is not the guy on their team. They are the supporting part. So no one is actually the guy. Like no one is. Like I was making a point about the second game about Pulisic. Like Pulisic, the reason why Pulisic excels at Chelsea is because he gets so much. Is because he has other people around him that
they're just dominant. Yeah.
And you have to focus on them. So Pulisic shines. Where in the USMT, he is the guy, and he doesn't do the same thing. But I want to ask you guys this: like, Greg has historically played this 4-3, but when he's played this 3 in the back or this 5-3-2, like the team looks a lot better. And we don't really have fullbacks; we have more wingbacks. We really don't have attacking men. We have a bunch of CMs, and we have strikers that want solo strikers. They're kind of great at combination. So why not go to a 5-3-2?
There's no wingers.
We do have wingers. I just think
I think Conrad's the only pure winger. Like,
okay, I could agree with that.
He is a guy that can play out on the wing, but mainly wants to cut inside. Gio and Arison are the same. Like, they can play out on the wing. They can, but they're not true. I would not say they're really wingers. I think they're guys that would rather be in the middle, but can go out wide.
And I think that's part of the reason why I think that if you had two up front, it would definitely, take some of the weight off of what each person would have, and it was just them by themselves up front. I think the issue there is mainly that, okay, and it's mainly a cosmetic thing, is that if we have two up front, that means that who do we sacrifice to make that work? Because you're more than likely you're still going to have McKennie, Adams, and Pulisic somewhere in that attacking midfield somewhere. So that's 3 spots already taken. So
you
that
can put
makes
Pulisic on top as a striker and play him as a second striker.
yeah. I could definitely see him as a second striker. But then
he's been playing as a false 9 every once in a while for Salzburg. You can do that again.
But then okay, so let's say you have Pulisic as a second striker. You have then you have your main striker. You have to figure that part out, and then you have McKennie and Adams. There's still one more spot, and like okay, like that's where the debate comes. Like, okay, because you have Reyna, you have Aronson, you have Weah, you have a lot of different options that depending on what you want to do, like who fits, and I think that's where the limit, because I think a lot of it's just like more so just cosmetic, and they're like, hey, we want to have our stars out there starting. And I'm like, you have too many players for too few spots, and I think at the end of the day, like you have to figure out like, hey, who can we win with them, and in what formation. Like I said, I'm definitely a big believer of whether it's a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2. That probably takes the best advantage of the strengths of what we have. But I'm not sure if they're bold enough to do that. I'm just not sure on that. But I think that going into this last game with Honduras, it's like, I don't want to say Berhalter's in danger, but at the same time, it kind of hit me while we were debating earlier. Like, there's with the international breaks being 3 games each now, that means there's 7 games left from here until November. I'm not sure he makes it to all 7 with the results going as they are.
I think I think he's fine as long as he doesn't suffer catastrophic losses. And by catastrophic losses, I mean gets the doors blown off of him, from like Panama. Doesn't get shell shocked against Costa Rica. Like if these happen at home, if those were to happen, then yeah, he's gone. But if he even if he draws against Honduras, a draw against Honduras on the road.
A draw's okay.
Bad thing. Just
I think
like
a loss might be trouble, but a draw is okay.
I think a loss would be not ideal. It would be bad. I don't think he would be on the hot seat. Now, if he gets, because he still has Jamaica, he still has Mexico. I think if he can get the wins against Panama or Costa Rica, you're fine. You're fine. I think he'll at least have October. He'll probably get November, and then maybe after that, if they're still sitting, in that 4th, 5th range, then maybe they'll make a move. But I don't think they're going to make a move until at earliest after the November friendlies.
Maybe it's just me, but I don't think they make a move, even if he's sitting in 4 or 5 after the next 4 games. Because in the next 4, he plays Honduras, Jamaica at home, Panama on the road, and Costa Rica at home.
Yeah.
And even praise work, because, room for Jamaica, and we're about to be out by game 4. Like, our World Cup is done. Even if he's sitting at 4 or 5 at that point, I think U.S. soccer makes a move. Because I really think it's going to come down to, like, one, how he does against Mexico. He's probably earned that. But then also, like, I just don't see U.S. soccer making a move. Like, I think it's more Twitter getting upset and mad and being like, you won the 2 cups, why are you beating these teams? And then also, like, we also got to remember a lot of casual fans thinking are coming into this. So when they see us not beat Canada, not beat El Salvador, and they don't know, like,
Canada's actually good now.
It's not CONCACAF. Yeah, this is CONCACAF of 2000. Yeah, like expectations are super duper high.
But also,
like, things are fine.
But the other reason why I think he still gets at least until November, who are you going to hire? Even if you want to get an MLS coach, you're going to have to wait until the MLS season ends to even have a chance to convince them to leave.
And that actually goes to the point I was about to make, is like, I don't think people, when you talk about general casual fans, I don't think they realize that U.S. soccer is largely broke, because they've been getting sued like crazy the past like 5, 6, 7 years, and I don't think really any of them are resolved yet. And they used to have a surplus of like 150 million. Now they're like, they're like close to nothing now. And
they're also like, who will want that job? Like, everyone see how toxic the U.S. men's national team job is. It is probably one of the top 5 toxic jobs out there. Who wants that?
I mean, I think that, well, I look at it like this. I think that the player pool is there. I just think that dealing with U.S. soccer in general, who wants to deal with that?
Dealing with the federation and the fans is not worth it. Like, you're not going to leave your stable, secure MLS job to take this job.
For basically a year-long contract. That's like, because you could leave your job, start in January, and by next December, you're out of a job, and you're like, okay, depending on how I did, like that basically determines what are my options. And like, if you're in a good spot, you're like, I gotta think on that a little bit. But what are you thinking now, El?
I'm sorry, he's gonna get the full run to fail. Essentially, it doesn't make sense to cut him in the middle of the hex because,
exactly.
Like, what's the point? So, like, if you don't make it, then boom, that's the scapegoat right there to cut him. Because we're locked for 20.
Now, if he loses in Jamaica, then yes, cut him.
I mean,
we're locked for 2026 anyway, so we're guaranteed to make that one because we're hosting. But for this one, they're not gonna cut him before the end, before they know that for sure we're not gonna make it.
I'm not sure
how qualifying is going to work for 2026 when 3 of the teams in the octagonal are all going to automatically qualify.
Well, keep in mind there
and
that
it expands.
Yeah, the World Cup will expand, and then so like you'll likely have like more spots for CONCACAF, so it make it a little bit easier to work out the automatic spots. But I definitely think that if you, I don't think they want to go into that cycle having failed disqualification. And so if it gets kind of close, because mind you, the last games in the OC is Mexico, Panama, and Costa Rica. At Costa Rica, you're at Mexico, Panama at home, then at Costa Rica, and we don't have the greatest. We don't have the greatest records in Mexico or Costa Rica. Matter of fact, we've never won in Costa Rica. So,
but if you do your job in January when you have El Salvador and Honduras both at home, you could at least probably go into those last 3 just thinking a win, maybe even a draw at that point, because depending on how everything else goes,
I think
the pressure might be lessened because if you can win those games, worst case, you can go into those last 3 thinking 2 points might be enough.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what Mexico might have already clinched by then. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Some of those other squads, they might not bring their full top tier squad, especially Mexico, because that's still in the middle of their, that's still Liga MX. It'll probably be the winter break at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But they might not have to bring a full squad at that point.
The other thing, too, about the U.S. men's soccer team is that we don't prepare properly for World Cup qualifiers. Like, every year when it comes, well, not every year because you don't do World Cup qualifier every year, but it comes to World Cup qualifier, like, where do we do our training games at? Overseas, in Europe, on these pristine grounds in France, in England, in Switzerland, in Dublin. And, like, if they wanted to be real about this, it would be like, we're going to go play against El Salvador or Guatemala and get players prepared for it so it's not shot.
That's the thing.
South America, even if they go to South America.
But
played, I get COVID and everything really messed things up. I get that. It's a lot harder with COVID. But you could have played, the Chiles on the road. You could have played Peru. You could have played Ecuador. You could have played some of these South American countries, and it might not give you the full CONCACAF experience, but you at least get used to playing in hot, humid weather, in, more hostile, more engaged crowds.
They ain't trying to have those friendlies down there and get batteries thrown at them. Like, they ain't about that life. But
besides Miles,
getting batteries thrown at you. What you think Honduras about to do? How they throw a gator on the field?
Besides Miles, who in that starting lineup has played CONCACAF Champions League?
Costa, I think.
Did Tyler Adams possibly? Or no, maybe not.
No.
No.
No. He might have. He might have.
Rodon has.
Okay, so it's only a few of them that really know.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, like you're naming fringe player guys, like you're naming guys that are fringe.
Like not too many of the European guys have done it because most of them just jumped straight into Europe. So they haven't been exposed to that, those type of games. And I definitely think, especially given how young this team is, I think that you need guys that kind of know how to prepare for those environments because they ain't easy.
But I think that's why Berhalter put up the lineup he did against El Salvador. You had DeAndre Yedlin, who was used to it. You had Tim Ream, who's been used to it. You had.
Can we do something about Tim Ream, please? I mean, like,
he did his job. He did his job. He did not screw up.
Ain't a lot of Tim Ream is Mr. Reliable. Like Tim Ream, if we make it to the World Cup, is going to make that roster because he does his job. Like no matter how bad them legs are. No matter how slow he is, he will have a job.
He did not get torched, and that was the most impressive thing for him. I did not see any highlight of him getting burned by anyone like he did in that Nations League final.
Yeah, and that's like,
and that's good for him. That's a good game for him.
It might work for CONCACAF. I just know he might surprise you. Like you remember how Beckerman did in the 2014 cycle. Like you never really saw the value during qualifications. Then the World Cup came and said, "Oh, I get it now. It actually makes sense now." But I just don't understand with Ream at all. But
also he's going to be there because what's his name for Nashville is out.
Well, speaking of people that are out, because we got to get into this tea real quick because.
Weston just wanted some cheeks. That was it. There ain't no tea. Next thing, move on.
No, man.
I mean,
it's just one of those. We need to talk about this, man, because my man got sent out. He got sent home. He got said, "Hey, you need to go back to Italy," because this Weston McKennie got sent home because not only did he stay overnight outside of the bubble, he brought shorty into the bubble that was not authorized. Because of course you're like, hey, they were given explicit instructions: no sex in the champagne room while you here. None of that. And he got confronted about that, and he was benched for the Canada game, and then as of yesterday, he got sent back to Italy. And I just gotta say, given the fact that it was multiple things that happened, I don't know if West should say, I'm home, I'm stateside, I'm gonna do me, or if it's something deeper. Because he wanted to dip his pinky toe in it, And Nashville black women are a different brand, they're a little thicker out there. He ain't seen that in Italy.
Who say they were black?
He didn't know what to do.
It's possible. They were black. Them honky tonk women, they might have gone ahead and got them, but
bachelorette parties of galore,
right.
It'd be like that.
We know what Weston like, man.
Look, here's the thing. I have no problem with the decision to send him home and to kick him. Like he violated the protocol. It is what it is. Just like Daniel House in the NBA bubble last year, he brought someone in and he immediately got kicked out. Mm-hmm. Like I get that you have to do it. He's also 23. He's going to do dumb shit. And as long as it was a consenting adult,
that part I have no problem with. But here's the thing: is for those of y'all who have forgotten last season,
he fucked up, but
he did the same thing.
Sports fuck up.
He did the same thing last year while he was with his home club, Juventus, and they rightfully benched him as well. So I'm like, if it's already happened once with your club, why would you do that with your national team? And that's the part I think I find myself honestly kind of troubled with, because just follow with me.
I mean, he saw Greg running around downtown Nashville. He was like, sure, I'm going to go for a run. He's going to give me something.
I meant to download that video. When I saw it, I was like, hold up. We got a situation here. But
I'm pretty sure Weston used that as his argument too. Like, you was outside running. You had no mask on. Why can't I go get me some?
Right.
There's literally a rule that says you can go on an outdoor run.
But that's the thing, is and just follow me here, because like I said, he had the same incident happen last year with with his home club Juventus, and he got fined by the Italian police. Like it was a big deal and everything. But so for him to do it a second time now with this national team, I'm like, my worry is that he's going to be labeled as a troublemaker or somebody that basically just, every so often he basically just goes up and does his own thing. And especially with how many clubs and teams expect that level of professionalism, I worry that suddenly they're going to be like, yeah, you might want to watch it around McKennie because sometimes he just does his own thing. And it's a messy situation that I hope doesn't. Hopefully he gets in front of it and tries to temper this down a little bit, because it could get real. How it affects his future, especially with him being only 23, that could jack him up long term.
Yeah, you gotta kind of take a step back. This is not an excuse for McKennie at all.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You went from, Dallas, you at home, you go over to Schalke, ain't really nothing out there. You know what I'm saying? Now you hit the big stage, Juventus, all the lights are on you, playing for the national team, killing it. You know what I'm saying? You're starting to, now you have like a level of celebrity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And him being young, sometimes you don't know how to handle that. It's like it came super quick. You feel me? So you got to be responsible. Like any black parent would say, don't go out there embarrassing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you out there embarrassing us right now, bro. Like, you gotta take some response. I'm sure you took responsibility for it, but you also gotta learn from this. This is twice now. You feel me? Yeah. Like, you're not gonna get too many more chances as a black man with the U.S. national team in soccer.
A black man in Italy? What?
In soccer, period, though. As a black man in soccer, period. You're not going to get too many more shots before you get labeled a menace, before you get Balotelli out here. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, bro, need to chill out, man. Take some time out. I think he's suspended with Juventus now, too. They're like, yo, you wilding. So, you need to take some time to reflect and get it right. I don't care what you did. It's not my business. You feel me? So, you broke the rules. Cool. I don't care what you did to break them. As long as you didn't kill nobody, hurt nobody, whatever. But, you gotta get it right. You gotta be upstanding from this point forward.
And the thing is, he probably, the first time it happened, all right, whatever. Maybe he was just thinking maybe this is bad luck. I don't know, because I don't know how it all happened. I don't know how it all went down. And this situation, kind of the same thing. He probably thought, whatever. And maybe this is the wake up call that he gets. But I also think if he gets back to Juventus, balls out, he's going to get called back at some point. We just saw Greenwood and Foden do something very similar to this. What, last October and last fall?
You saw how Foden got called back a whole lot sooner than Greenwood, and even though
Greenwood would have been on the Euro team if he was healthy. If he was fully fit, he probably is on the Euro team. So if Weston learns his lesson and then balls out at Juve, he's going to be back in the U.S. men's national team picture, because he's still too damn talented for this team.
Think
if the U.S. don't start winning,
I don't think Juve really wants it anyway.
Well, that and that kind of goes into what we were going to get on with the transfer talk, because it was kind of mixed up, like what happened there, because there were talks of sending him elsewhere, but he ended up, staying put at Juventus. And I'm very curious, how this bounces back on him there. Like El said, it sounds like he was suspended there as well. I mean, it's warranted, but I do think that it's now on him to figure out, hey, I got to lock in. I got to do right, because now you basically got strikes on both club and country that you're just, that occasionally you go out and do your own thing. And I'm like, that's not how top clubs run. That's not how top teams run. Like, they expect you to do things a certain way, and sometimes you got to own up and do it. It is kind of the way it is. But I found myself just very concerned, how this is all going to fall off for him because, again, he is just 23, and that's a long time to, have those type of labels on you and whatnot. But I
mean, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Doncaster somewhere.
But if he learned his lesson, he'll be fine in a couple months.
Yeah. I just know that I need for this scene right here to have happened behind the scenes where Berhalter is just questioning what happened? What happened here, Wes? I see you got a friend over here. What'd you do? Got the Jones. What? I got the draws. What does GTD stand for? And man, if this happened, that's what it absolutely just made my whole year. But of course, during qualification, we could not be remiss if we did not have a moment where the clock got reset once again. And this time, once again, it's involving Raheem Sterling scoring against Hungary. And as you can see here on YouTube, the Hungary fans were not happy whatsoever. They were hangry as fuck. And I don't know if y'all saw, was it Declan Rice that drank the drinks that were thrown on? I think it was him and was it Grealish?
That's gross. Yeah. COVID is going around.
That's true.
The beer was probably warm. That's my concern. It was probably just a warm, flat beer.
But shout out to for giving a shout out to his homegirl that passed away from COVID and everything. But I did want to just backtrack real quick and catch up on some things that happened last week. Of course, we missed the summer transfer deadline, and some interesting moves happened. First of all, contrary to popular belief, Mbappe was not the French wonder kid who went to Real Madrid. It actually turned out being Edouard Camavinga, which I'm honestly mad at because I feel that given how low he went, he should have actually gone United.
That was a smart move by Real Madrid. It's going to pay dividends, maybe not this year, but in 2-3 years. Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge move.
Oh, definitely. I definitely think, they always seem to catch a guy, that 18, 19-year-old that is just on the cusp, and then he ends up just being a stalwart on the club, like you see with Marcelo, you saw it with Sergio Ramos. And I think that just given the buzz around Camavinga, that might be one that pays up in a big, big way. But also some stunning moves that happened. Antoine Griezmann is back with Atletico Madrid, which honestly, I just felt like he should never went to Barcelona in the first place. At least I understand him leaving Atletico. Just Barcelona at that point was just not the right move for him. And then, of course, the big shocker of the deadline weekend was Cristiano Ronaldo heading back to Manchester United. I feel like everyone put the okie doke on that one because apparently Ronaldo wanted to make that move back in June, and nobody believed him. And it took almost going to Manchester City for everyone to wake up and be like, hold up, you can't go there. You can't go there whatsoever. And here you are. But, should be interesting to see how he fits into what he, into what's now Manchester United from what he left back in 2009. But, I'll rub it in your face a little bit, El, but got a little problem here with this table. We got because we're going back into the clubs this weekend, and we're coming in with Spurs in first place, and Arsenal in last?
Well, first of all, Spurs isn't going to stay there. And Arsenal isn't going to stay where it is. I don't know how much higher it goes.
Can they at least score a goal?
We're not going to stay last. We'll end up mid-table like last season. They get it together. I'm not too worried about that. But Spurs definitely
this
are not.
This before or after y'all fire McKennie, fire y'all manager?
Arteta has a run of easy games, so we'll see what happens.
Allegedly.
After that, I mean, who are we going to replace him with? Who wants to come to Arsenal? It's so dysfunctional. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's going to come to Arsenal?
Greg gets that job, yo. That is white privilege 101.
If it can happen to Frank de Boer, it can happen to you.
Hell, y'all might go out here.
Frank de Boer.
Bro,
I've heard crazier shit, but yeah. But nah,
Frank take that job, man. I'm gonna be weak.
At this point, he'll go wherever anybody will take him. Like it's that simple. But I think it's funny that you mentioned that though, El, because I definitely see a lot of similarities between what's going on with Arsenal and what's going on with the U.S. Because like you could fire him, but then who do you replace him with? And like because who's going to want that job right now? Because mind you. It's not like Arsenal didn't try to spend. They spent more money than anybody in the EPL this summer, and there's not even one goal right now to show for it. Matter of fact, that's
overrated.
That they're actually clocking current. They're on pace for Frank de Boer numbers because for those of you that forgot, Frank de Boer was at Crystal Palace and didn't score, and one goal didn't get scored for like 7 games, and that's why he ended up getting fired. So right now we're on 3 games. So. Yeah, things might be the turnaround sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we spent hella money trying to play catch up. So not catch up in a way as like we needed depth, but then people know that like we're so inept business wise that they're not taking our players off of us because they know, all right, if I just wait a year, I can get this dude on the free. You know what I'm saying? Because Arsenal doesn't do good business. Mm-hmm.
So who's worse, y'all or Barca?
So that's why we can't dump players off because we got like 8 players or so whose contract expire next season. So like we're just gonna wait. I'm not about to pay you a fee for him now. Like I'm gonna just wait till next year, get him for the low, and you get rid of him then.
Was there anybody that you liked that y'all got?
No. I mean like I didn't really have any expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm to the point now where. Let's just see what happens. I don't have any expectations. Like some of these no-name dudes that we got could end up being, stars down the road. Like that's kind of like the Wenger model.
It could be, but it just won't be at Arsenal, and that's part of the problem. Like you have young guys there that have a whole lot of potential. The problem is that they'll develop, but they won't have the results at Arsenal, and then they'll go elsewhere and get all the trophies that they want elsewhere. And I don't think you have any guys that are truly committed to, seeing things through at Arsenal.
I think we do have guys who are truly committed. They just be getting shitted on because we have an inept manager.
Well, I think that, and they're really young. Like I feel like Saka is someone that, at the current moment, I feel like he would stay and stick it through. I think Smith Rowe just got a new contract, and I feel like those two are going to be like they're going to stick through it for at least, the next 5-7 years.
Yeah.
We've had young players who have a whole lot of potential, but they get, alienated because he's not the coach's guy, or for some reason they're not vibing with Arteta, or Arteta isn't vibing with them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no reason why, what's my boy's name? Center back. His name is escaping me. I can see his face, but his name is escaping me.
Williamson?
French guy.
Saliba.
Yes. No reason why Saliba hasn't gotten one run out. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude's going to be on loan. He's going to get transferred out next year, probably. Like, Guendouzi was the only dude with heart, young dude with heart out there, but he just wasn't vibing with Arteta. You know what I'm saying? So, like, shipped him off. Now he's out in Marseille somewhere balling.
Yeah, yep. Marseille.
You know what I'm saying? Like we shoot ourselves in the foot. I understand the youth movement. They want to, we want to work young, work our way back up, build from. But like you can't keep if you can't manage personalities, you're not going to be able to manage like a star-studded team. You got to be able to manage personalities. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to like 100% fall in line. You have to learn how everybody responds and, you know, work with them, especially if you see there's promise. And I feel like there's not a lot of flexibility in that dressing room right now.
It actually kind of reminds me of my cousin with the Suns. His first head coaching job was in New Orleans, and he kind of ran into that same situation where like he was so strict, and it was never as successful as he wanted because he couldn't breathe. I think that Arteta's running the same thing where it's like you feel like it has to be one way, and this being your first job, it's like you gotta kind of learn that. Yeah, you gotta. Everybody had the same. Like you gotta show some flex from time to time, and until he figures that part out, the Arsenal job.
It's too hard to be like Pep.
Yeah, exactly. Arteta thinks he's Pep. He don't have a resume though.
He doesn't. Well, that's the thing.
So you don't have a resume to command the respect for them to buy into your system. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he doesn't have the cachet at Arsenal. That's the thing. Is like if Pep didn't start at Barcelona where people already knew him and trusted what he was doing, he might not have had everyone fall in line so quickly. Whereas you have Arteta at Arsenal is like, yeah, you played there, but it's not like you were a homegrown player that played there for 15 years. Like it's not the same. And I think that you're trying to connect with players that, you know, might not be at the skill level that you necessarily want. And you have to, you have to figure out like, hey, how do I get these players where I want them to be? But
it also relies on your veteran players to also make sure that even if they don't necessarily vibe with the manager or like they're not completely bought in, like if your veterans aren't bought in, why would the youngsters be bought in? I think that's kind of the bigger issue is not necessarily like not everyone's buying in. It's that the people that you're looking to as your team leaders, maybe they're not the ones that are completely bought in. And because of that, then it has a trickle down effect.
Yeah. Attitude reflects leadership all the time. And I don't see a great deal of leadership. And I think the results reflect. But I definitely think that going back to your point from earlier that I'm so mad that we missed this when it was hot. But the Spurs spot on top is like the milk crate challenge because there's no way this leads. I am glad though that Nuno is doing his thing so far. But this I just don't see that one lasting.
No, Spurs will not stay on top. Arsenal's not going to stay at the bottom. Like, no.
There's
too much talent at Arsenal for them to finish near the bottom or be in a relegation race. Maybe they have to make a coaching change, but it reminds me of Liverpool back in like 2011 when Roy Hodgson had the squad. The talent was there. It's just that it just wasn't the right manager. He left. Kenny Dalglish comes in, and club legend. He goes in, gets the team back on track. Season turns around. You get to a couple cup finals. Like that is what I could see happening to Arsenal. It's that they might need a coaching change and just hit a reset button and use the talent that they have, and they'll eventually even out. Again, these quote unquote easy run of games. You get one or two wins, you're right back at more mid-table.
Yeah, you can use Atlanta United as like a parallel to that. Like, as soon as we got rid of Heinze and, Rob let them kind of play a little bit more freely, boom, 4-game winning streak, so sometimes you need that.
Hold on, did y'all even sign anybody this summer, Kyle?
Yeah, they signed Ibrahima Konate right at the beginning. Center back from Leipzig, so they got his release clause for like $35 million.
Okay, I remember that. Okay.
That was it. That was it. That's all they did. They didn't replace Wijnaldum. They didn't get another attacker. They didn't get a backup right back. They sold some players. That was cool.
I think people don't realize like how old Liverpool is getting. So I definitely think I think we've said it for a while. Like I think a refresh is due at Liverpool pretty soon.
The thing though is are doing it slowly. Like with buying Konate, now you have your 2 center backs down the road in the future with Gomez and Konate. You have them. They bought Tsimikas as a backup left back for Robertson. He's there. You got Jota last year as well. And then their midfield is where that's the area that it's like, how much are you going to rely on these youngsters like Harvey Elliott, who started pretty well this year, and Curtis Jones, and some of the other academy like, are they going to rely on those academy guys to go with Fabinho? Because Fabinho's still pretty young. Trent's still pretty young. It's the attack that needs some fresh legs soon. Yeah. Because definitely. Mane, Firmino, and Salah, they're all going to be up at contracts too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Salah will probably get a new contract. It's just a matter of how much they're going to pay him. Mane will probably get another contract. Firmino might not. And I don't know who they're going to have as the attack after Jota in terms of the next level. Because Origi probably isn't in it anymore, even though he did a great job in 2019. Minamino, I still have faith in, but he's also like 27. So his time is coming up. So they got some good youngsters in the academy, but I don't think they're ready to throw them in at this point. So it's just a matter of, are they saving enough for 2022 and to buy an attacker or two? I don't know. So the thing with Liverpool is they have a strong enough starting 11 to compete with anyone. And as long as they don't have another injury crisis like they did last year, they should be fine. But it's going to start showing in 2-3 years if they don't start bringing in some fresh legs.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see. But I'm going to take a quick pause for the cause, get a shout out from our fam over at Protagonist. And when we on the flip side, we're going to get into this Henny Derby. We'll pay tribute to one of the legends in Hollywood who just recently passed away. And we're going to chill it down. So stick with us. I'll be right back. Catch you on the flip side.
This is an Alliance podcast.
And we are back. Man, first of all, we need to give a quick round of applause for our guy Yogi. This week, River City 93 is celebrating their 100th episode. Man, my guy, yo. Did you?
I thought you was about to tell me I did something bad. Okay, I was going
No, this is a great occasion, man. Like, so you got the Henny Derby this weekend. You got the 100th episode of River City 93. Did y'all even think that y'all would even get this far into it? Like, because I feel like with every podcast you're like, man, I'm gonna do like a couple, and then like I'm gonna just, it's whatever. Like, y'all made 100 deep.
Hell no, because I thought Grant Wall would have sent out a cease and desist letter from my ass by now.
Look, Grant Wall just loves beefing with USL League One podcasts. It is what it is.
I mean, River City, between Walking 90. I mean, I said we got America's Most Wanted right here on the screen, man. All we need is Ebony, and we'll be good to go.
That man does not fuck with us. Nah, that's what's up, man. Like, definitely hitting 100 is cool. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have much to say. I never really thought we would have it happen, and it's great.
No, man. I think what you and Chenier, I think just the whole movement with League One, with obviously with what you guys started up with Featherstone and creating the Henny Derby, like it's definitely helped put some eyes on League One that probably wouldn't be there otherwise. Because I mean, a lot of people just don't even think about anything below MLS like that in this country, and it's like y'all did something. It's like, yeah, it was organic, it was authentic, and it's something that's relatable, especially to us here in the culture. Because if I wasn't trying to cut down on my weight, I would have a glass of Henny right now. But yeah, I mean,
I think need to cut the check though.
They do.
It It might not be too many years of the Henny Derby thing, cutting that check.
I mean, that's what the initiative is for, man. We try to get that all together so that way, it definitely, we start seeing some dividends around all this. I think y'all are seeing right now, Desi Banks doing the Golden Spike a couple of weeks ago. But
fuck around, start calling this the Newport 100 Derby.
Dude,
Now we got to go get that Duce check.
Someone actually brought up to me a year or two ago. Us doing a Newport 100 scarf, and I was like, you can't, there's no way we can do that, man. That's just perpetrating. Yeah, but yeah, there's no way that we can do that. That's just defeating the stereotype, man. But
fool.
Yeah, he really is. But so how has the season been going down in League One for both of y'all?
Shit.
Awful. Hate it. Draw. Can't score. Can't close out games. Another draw.
Goal.
Like that.
Refs can't do anything. Goals are being scored after the stoppage time. There's 10 minutes of stoppage time somehow. Not sure how that happens. And they score in the 11th minute.
Players getting chopped in the face. It's fucking
got players being alpha males on social media and they're getting busted and now suspended. Another player catfishing people, doing scams.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's crazy.
Well, I mean,
wow.
the player scamming thing, the alpha male, that isn't any of our teams, thankfully. But no, the season sucks. I'm not happy with the season.
And mind you, we were supposed to have a Henny Derby last week, and then they was it postponed or was it just straight canceled?
Postponed. Hurricane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's we're all trying to get through this season slowly but surely. But
I mean, USL League One is good right now. The league itself, if you look at the table from 3rd to 11th, there's only 3 points separated.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. Yeah.
That just makes the draws more frustrating.
I mean, yeah, I could definitely get that. So, how are we looking as far as what's the score going to be this weekend?
A draw.
Yeah.
Honestly, a 1-1 draw would not surprise me.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is this year about League One, but if you want to see 100%, any team can beat any team, is USL League One, man. FC Tucson 2 weeks ago was in the dumpsters, and now they're 3rd in the table.
Greenville couldn't win in 8 games. They get 1 win, and they're back up to 3rd or 4th.
That's wild.
No, I honestly think this match is ending in a 1-1 draw. I feel like both of these teams have not had the offensive firepower. And I know, at least in Madison's case, they just haven't had the killer instinct to see out games. So even if Madison does get an early goal, they'll still somehow concede it.
I mean,
they're really just going to play a low block and be you can have the ball 85%.
What happened the first Henny Derby match?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before I forget, Yogi, tell us who y'all got on episode 100 to celebrate.
Oh, well, we did a special Q&A. There's a bunch of questions, and we had Darren Swatsky on. Did an interview for us. Pretty much just learned a lot more about the club, a lot of more in behind stuff. Mm-hmm. The thing he's mostly working on right now is rebuilding the kickers up. Because he said when he came in, he was under the impression this club's been around since '93. A lot of the stuff you would thought were established there were there, and it wasn't. So he's pretty much putting everything in place now, so that way we can kind of be a stable club. And we're in that process. I think this is the first year in a while the club isn't in the red. It's almost teetering close to the book. So that's good. Yeah, go check it out. No, and yeah, do that.
I'm sure after this, y'all be talking even more shit on Wakanani with Ebony. If you were in Nashville for the USA game, you probably saw her in the Capo stand, also with her homeboy Donna Wine. I'm also up there. You know, I heard like nobody wears masks in Tennessee for some reason. Like it's just wild. And I'm hoping that this doesn't mess up the Derby in October because the numbers are getting kind of wild right now, and I'm really trying to like they've already started canceling HBCU homecoming events. I'm like, yo, I need at least a Derby. I need at least that.
I'm gonna have my mask on.
Like, please, y'all. Like, please, y'all, wear your mask. Like,
and get vaccinated.
Get vaxxed. Like, these numbers are getting kind of crazy. Like, I heard this 9-year-old that just recently passed away from COVID. I'm like, it's getting kind of crazy out here. And it's clear that if you get vaxxed, even if you catch COVID, you won't. The likelihood of you dying is very, very low. So at the very least, do yourself a favor and do yourself, the people around you, a favor. Get vaxxed. When you're in big crowds, wear a mask. All that stuff. Because yeah, we got too many good people passing away. And speaking of good people passing away, we actually lost a legend in the game as of Monday, and it's definitely a heavy hit on the culture. Michael K. Williams. For those of y'all that don't know, Michael K. Williams played Omar on The Wire, which is still, I don't care what none of y'all Breaking Bad people say, Wire's the best show ever in life. And it's been a large part of this man right here, playing Omar Little, neighborhood, ripping the robber, robbing the drug dealers, giving to the poor, and all that stuff. I mean, played Chalky White on Boardwalk Empire, was recently on Love Clap Country, which I think he might be getting nominated for an Emmy on that. I can't remember if I caught the nomination list and everything, but y'all didn't have any thoughts on Mr. Williams?
It just sucks. I think that's really all you can say. It just sucks that it happens, and especially he was still so young. And, you know, I think the manner in which it potentially, I mean, it's just like he was just found there in his apartment. Like, we don't know what happened. It's just, it's hard, especially when in this pandemic and all the terrible shit that's been happening and losing a lot of good people. And this is just another one. It's just hard. And it's like he's a good and it's like he's a good dude as well. Like everyone that's talk about him, you can't not hear a good story. I know the biggest one I think is like the clip with him and Anthony Bourdain when they're doing their show, and they're walking through the neighborhood, and he's just talking, and he sees people he recognizes and talks to them, and it's like that's just who he. You know, it's weird because like you think like based on his character, it's like okay, I don't know about like he did so well with his character that you just forget like before you might forget like who he was as a person. And I mean, I've never met him. I don't know him. I just know the work that he's done. But it still sucks. And it's just hard because it's someone that within the culture and so young, it's hard to kind of reconcile with that and how sudden it was too.
I mean, definitely. And the works that he did, I think they gave such a soulful presentation to pretty much everything that he played. Like even like little small film projects. Like there was one that he did, I think it was like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, where it's like he's having a conversation with different versions of himself as far as like being typecast and like how people perceive him and everything, whether it's like the thug that they saw in The Wire or the sensitive side of himself. And like, I think especially as Black men, I think we all deal with, you know, that struggle as far as like how people see us. And, you know, the way that he was able to express himself through his art definitely, I think, made him just incredibly endearing to fans everywhere. And 54 years old, it's not old at all. Like I've said it many times on this podcast, like it is hard damn work getting old. And I know that apparently the story was that it may have been a drug overdose. I know that when he on The Wire, he actually was dealing with a cocaine addiction while doing The Wire. And like the fact that he was able to give that incredible performance for that long and still be fighting his own demons, like that's just incredible beyond words. But it's always like a day by day struggle when you're dealing with drugs of that magnitude, and it's tough because like I know at least for me, especially when I was younger, when my mom was still here, like The Wire was like a show that we connected on. Like that, like we made that appointment viewing. Like even if I was still living in Hampton and I happened to come home to visit, I would usually wait until we watched The Wire before I went back to Hampton, which was like an hour away, and like that was our thing. And you learn about the gift that he had, and it's just an absolute shame because you have like project after project, film after film, show after show, like he gave it, whether it was small role, big role. Like there's a million gifs out here that just quotes that he laid out here, and like he laid that much culture out there, and it's just a shame. You got anything else?
Man, it's tragic. Like it still doesn't really feel real. You know what I'm saying? Like some of this stuff is beginning to happen so often that it almost just doesn't seem real. It's like, oh, another picture,
Yeah.
And we're losing so many of our like great artists in the in the trade of acting. You know what I'm saying? Michael K. Williams, Chadwick Boseman, like these were like craftsmen, and like taken away from us way too soon. So
yeah, we actually
family, man, it's rough.
Yeah, we actually just came up on the anniversary of Chadwick Boseman's passing while we were off last week, and Mason Greenwood paid tribute to him while scoring. I actually need to rewind because I'm so glad that I was reminded about this picture that I actually got with Michael K. Williams. This was back in 2019. He came to an Atlanta United game at the Benz, and this was I had seats up in the Skybox suites that game, and I think I got like a message stand that Michael K. Williams was on the Capitol stage. And for those of y'all that know me, not really about getting starstruck and chasing after celebs like that. But this was a guy that I made sure I was like, yeah, because of that connection that my mom and I had with The Wire, it's like, I'm getting there. And shout out to Skate, one of the former execs with Atlanta United, because I was like, I think she was trying to, push people away from getting pictures and shit. And I was like, I am getting a picture. Like, this will absolutely happen. And I think she was supposed to give me a picture with Jeezy. I think it was like either that game or the game before. And it never happened. I was like, this makes up for Jeezy by miles. Like, I would rather have this picture and frame it, put it up. That this, I literally went from the skybox down to the supporter section to make sure I got this picture because like it meant that much to me. And yeah, it's an absolute shame that he's gone because he really was a good. Like, and the crazy thing about it is that he didn't start as an actor. He actually started as a dancer. Like he actually helped choreograph for a lot of top artists out there, and he went from that to being an actor, and it's just and end up being like just as good, if not better. And the man was just truly gifted, and it's just an absolute shame that he's no longer with us. But yeah, no, the anniversary of Chadwick Boseman's death was this past weekend. Yeah, we got Mason Greenwood paying tribute to Chadwick, doing it Wakanda Forever and whatnot. Nobody does that anymore, but that's okay. That's okay. But yeah. I don't have a proper transition for that, but we're supposed to come out with new merch on Labor Day. We're actually still working things out with our vendor as far as printing goes. So we ended up having to push that back. The anticipated date is now going to be on the 15th for the merch. I want to give a quick shout out to Tigers from LAFC. They just dropped a really dope basketball jersey line. I think I showed y'all. I dropped it on the socials this past week. If you're interested in this, go to LAFCTSG.com. Like, they got a dope Korean print, got a Lakers style drop shadow numbers. Like, I've seen it in person. It's absolutely incredible. But make sure you go out, support them and whatnot. But yeah, we are in the process of coming out with new name sets styles for 21-22. You see our man Mark from Atlanta Fan TV with the All-Star jersey for Miles Robinson. So that's pretty much to give you an idea as far as what to expect, but there's a lot of dope stuff to come with that. And the Legends of the Culture hoodies are coming back for the fall. Keep you guys warm. Just to give y'all a little bit of a sample as far as what's to come and whatnot from your boys at FTC UTD. And of course, you can always get your gear at ftcutd.myshopify.com. But you know what I'm mad about? You missed the Bishop Sycamore story. And that's just. But yeah, if y'all haven't heard about that yet, make sure you do, because that was just an absolute mess.
It reminds me, actually, no. The thing with the Bishop Sycamore thing is how many people were dumb enough not to do, like, just to double check it. It kind of reminds me almost with Argentina and Brazil, and how those four players lied saying they weren't based in England, and then they get arrested on the field. And it's like, who are you trying to fool?
We didn't get on that. You know what the crazy part is? That wasn't even the craziest story that came with World Cup qualifications. There was an actual coup that took place in Guinea over the weekend, and ended up having to cause Guinea versus Morocco to get canceled. I'm like, yeah, like we might not be able to leave the country because the country is being taken over doing it.
They just left the country. The Ghanaian players, I think, just left the country today.
Yeah, I think the couple that played for Liverpool, and yeah.
That's the only reason why I knew they left the country, is because one of the reporters said it. But I think Morocco had left on Sunday. I think it was Sunday they left. Sunday or early Monday.
It's been a crazy ass international break when Weston McKennie and his booty chasing is not even the second best story of the week. Like, that's just absolutely wild. But in case you're up here on YouTube, of course, like, a couple of the hoodies that we're coming out with is going to be Brianna Scurry, who just had a birthday, by the way. Sadio Mane, yes, we are doing a Liverpool hoodie. Yes, we are.
Thank you, God.
And the legend, Phenomenal Ronaldo, will be doing this. We're going to do the drops a little differently for the fall, but yes, just be on the lookout for all of them. The next September, October, November, we're doing different ones for each month on a limited release. So just be ready for that. But yeah, let's get this show cracking. Of course, what's going on 2 Cents FC this week, Mr. L?
Oh, 2 Cents FC is actually off this week, or for the next 2 weeks. I'll be out of town, so taking a little break.
Because the man got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, next weekend.
So all I need to know is just where the party at, and so we'll be there. We'll be there.
Ain't no party. Keeping it low. But no, Two Cents FC is off for the next 2 weeks. But definitely, obviously tap in with, For the Culture, tap in with Soccer She Wrote, which is our bi-monthly
tell the people,
Mariah Lee.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So this is actually one of my ups. But so pro soccer player Mariah Lee, she's pretty decorated. She's on the national championship team with Katerina Macario at Stanford. Played at Wake Forest as well during grad school. She's played for Celtic. She played for FF Lugano, OL Reign. But now she's playing with FC, and I can't pronounce the name of the team.
North yeah, I think it's.
Yes, I'm not even going to butcher it. So forgive me.
We'll have to spell it out in the post production.
Yeah, for sure. So she is going to be blogging. So she just signed with them. She's over in Copenhagen, or suburb of Copenhagen, Denmark. She's going to be blogging her experience as a Black woman playing professionally overseas. So make sure you tune into that. Sign up for 2 Cents Weekly if you haven't already, so you can get those posts when they drop. Yeah, that's about it. We got a couple announcements coming up. Can't really divulge at the moment, but stay tuned to the socials. Follow 2 Cents HBCU.
Yes, yeah, I just saw that earlier today.
Dropped it today. We're gonna be giving y'all some HBCU content coming soon. Got another announcement coming there hopefully soon as well. So keep it locked, man. We moving, we working.
The team is growing. It's getting strong.
For sure.
So did you have your downs? Or you just keep it positive?
Oh, all right. So my second up is HBCUs getting College Game Day love for the kickoff.
Yeah. Last weekend, yeah.
That was good to see. I want to actually see more of that, or us having our own show for HBCU football or sports.
Can we at least get the full halftime show in the Bayou Classic back? Because I feel like they've downsized that so much that you basically get like a couple plays on the drum line, and it's like, hey, yeah, we'll be right back.
Yeah, and they're showing highlights when they come back. Can we? That's part of the broadcast. They need to be part of the broadcast.
Absolutely.
My downs, obviously, Michael K. Williams passing. We touched on that earlier. And Certified Lover Boy being mid. Had higher hopes for that album, especially with the rollout and the time it took to produce it. Was hoping for more, but yeah, it is what it is.
Cool. You good, TK? We'll see how this rolls. We'll see it. What you got, big dog? Can y'all hear?
Does that work?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, why y'all always call me big, man?
Because you taller than me, so yeah. I don't know about your baby weight, man. You tall.
21. So I guess some of the ups off vacation, been brilliant. Really cherishing time with my family. With pick up maybe a picture about using this time to reset, control, focus, friends, some nice photos, stuff relax, and it's really nice. And it's another up. Kind of excited to see if I can see. Kind of missed a little bit of football with the island. So it is what it is. International. It's one of the TV points. Walking onto. Luckily, all the condos have the same Wi-Fi pass. So piggybacking.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't really get too much in during the break. But I look forward to that. I guess another up on maybe not so much football related, but we have some changes. Welcome to it. Silver arrows to George Russell. So it'll be nice to see 2021. But yeah, I really just don't have any down.
It happens like that sometimes. But I am mad that that Hamilton's no longer in the league. I am mad about that.
It's a long season. There's one coming up next week with this triple header. I guess down with the actually F1 related. That's pretty trash. Ooh. Y'all catch that? Go check out the good dog. Very trash. But yeah, man, that's really it. I don't want to talk too much about folks sleeping around me, so I'll pass it off.
Cool. KC, man, what you got, man?
Trying to think. All right, so for ups, started a new job. This is now my 4th week, so that's been pretty nice. Was unemployed for a while. That wasn't fun. So start a new job. Actually feel like this company has structure.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of nice. It was like, there's actually a team. And there's like an onboarding experience. It's just the small things. It goes a long ways, and I think that's been pretty good. It's like I have a boss that I actually hear from weekly, so just nice, like getting back into it, getting back into working. So it's weird that I've actually been happy with having a full-time job, but I am tired, but it's been worth it. So that's one of my ups. My other up, the past couple of weeks have been good. Overall, I had my anniversary 2 weeks ago, my wife's birthday last week, and then this past weekend it was nice having a long weekend. I got to hang out with the kids. So we're going to farmers markets. We were going to parks, just trying to enjoy the weather as much as we can, letting both of them just live. So it's kind of nice just being there and just having a chance to hang out with the kids. Cause I know, especially with everything that's going on with this pandemic, like that's probably been one of the nice things is it's allowed me to spend more time with them that I might not have done if there wasn't a pandemic. Cause I probably would have been running around and doing more things. So the fact that I get to hang out with them has been pretty cool, and at least have them see what they're seeing, just like going for walks and stuff. Just small things like that has been nice with the kids. Downs, trying to think. I guess Wisconsin losing on national television in the way that it did is never. I don't care that much about college football, but I don't want Wisconsin embarrassing itself.
That was a tough loss, though. That's a tough loss to Penn State, but it happens.
Well, and the QB that you had the year before goes to Notre Dame and throws 4 touchdowns the day after. That doesn't help.
Yeah, there's that. Notre Dame almost blew that game, but yeah.
But still, like you're seeing when your starting quarterback fumbles the ball twice in the red zone and throws a couple interceptions, and then you look at the other guy and he's throwing 4 touchdowns. It's a little rough. And again, I don't care that much about college football. I just don't want Wisconsin embarrassing itself on national TV. That's all I ask.
The best was your one this year, so just be happy with that.
I wasn't going to bring it up because I was not going to bring it up out of the kindness of my heart. But think of the other down. Starting to get to the flu season, so that's been kind of shitty. Everyone's getting colds, and now it's kind of that paranoia coming back of, do I have a cold? Is it the flu or is it COVID? Like, I don't know which one. Like, that's probably now starting up, at least up in here, just because it is starting to get cooler. So not looking forward to having that anxiety and panic whenever I have a little cough.
No, man, but yeah, I'm glad you were able to come on. Of course, shout out to everyone with Featherstone, Chris, April, just the whole team out there, still doing the good work out there, and still dropping just incredible merch. Like, Ford is still doing a damn thing. So shout out to the whole team there. First off, I want to give a quick shout out to the Rose Room Collective. So where's the camera? There we go. Yeah, shout out to Doug, Riss. For those of y'all who haven't been keeping up with socials, they have been leading the fight against the Washington Spirit owners who have basically been I don't have enough time to really go into it, but I can tell you that the head coach, or the former head coach, tried to transition to a front office role under everyone's nose. Come to find out that he'd actually been fired and tried to do his own PR on the team's website. And there's been were there reports of player misconduct? Well, player abuse. I remember.
Physical, I'm not sure, but definitely verbal and emotional abuse.
Verbal abuse. Yeah, because that's why the coach got fired. And then just yesterday, they hired former DC United head coach Ben Olsen to be the president. I'm like, and this quote just honestly just blows my mind that he said it was like, yeah, I don't have any experience in women's soccer, but it's cool. We'll make it work. So I'm like, did they just hire someone like, hey, he doesn't have to move. He's already here. Let's just go ahead and give him the job. I'm like, we got to do better, y'all. Like, so whoever it is that wants to buy the Spirit, please go buy them. Like, tell the team, Steve, I wish I had it up on a slideshow because, yeah, that needs to happen. But definitely shout out to Doug, Riss, Sarah, and the rest of Rose Room leading this fight because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. You have that. You have issues going on with race in Louisville. Their coach recently got fired. Like, I swear, man, like they're gonna mess up this bag with NWSL and end up having to start up a new league again because too many owners just can't get the shit together. But so yeah, that's shout out to Rose Room. I guess that's a up and a down. I'm not sure, but
yeah. And speaking of Washington Spirit, special episode of Unfiltered with Kyle McCullough be dropping.
Yes, because she has definitely a firsthand experience with the issues there, and it's been just the stuff that she's put out on social media has been really emotional. Just to put it lightly, because you talk about somebody's career that got affected in large part of was finally falling out now. So yeah.
Make sure you subscribe to her show. And listen to season 1. She hasn't just started talking about this stuff. She's been talking about this stuff. Nobody has been listening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go listen to season 1 and you'll get an idea of what's really been going on.
Yeah. An actual down. It's just been the news out of Texas regarding the abortion laws that have really just. Honestly, it's kind of I love all of us kind of really stunned as far as what they've been allowed to pass. As far as you talk about reproductive rights for women in Texas. Basically, you're saying like if once you're past 6 weeks, you can't get an abortion. However you feel on that, we totally understand. But at least whoever needs that access and wants that access, at least allow them to get that safely and where it doesn't put them in any danger of health. But yeah, it's just real scary because now that that's been allowed, you see other states, Florida, talking about possibly passing similar bills, and we just gotta have that. I mean, it's funny. Like I saw some. So actually, the tweet was actually from 2 years ago. But like, if we're going to go that far, are we going to start with child support at 6 weeks? Are we going to talk about insurance on the child at 6 weeks in case they miscarry? You can collect insurance on that child. There's a lot of things that like this type of move sets a lot of things in motion. That if you want to go that far with it, this actually could end up being costly to insurance companies, states, and all that stuff. But you'd think we'd be done with this by now, but apparently people don't want to keep their business out of women's bodies and everything. But hopefully legislation can come in place to where it's an even keel across the board, no matter what state you're in, because what a woman should be able to do should be their choice and their choice alone.
And this is also why elections matter.
Absolutely.
This is why you need to take that shit seriously, because you can think that my vote doesn't matter, but when shit like this starts happening, it's because the people that think their votes don't matter don't go out and vote, and allow people like what's going on with Texas being able to do what they want.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. As far as ups go, honestly, I'm not even sure right now. Because everything's just honestly, there's been a lot going on right now. You have people recovering from Hurricane Ida, both down south and up on the East Coast. You have the Afghanistan stuff that we talked about in the last episode. You have this going on in Texas. Like, it's a lot right now. Hopefully wherever you are, you have good people around you, and you're keeping your vibes up, and you figure out a way to keep this going, because right now it's tough. And so just want to give a virtual hug or pound, dab, and everything. We can social distance and all that stuff. And, like we're in this with you, and hopefully, we all get through this as much as possible. Those of y'all in California, don't forget to vote next week for the recall, because there's a lot of unserious people in California trying to become governor, and that ain't the way. But I really I hate not having it up, but like I said, just go vote. If you're in California, go vote. But that's all I got for this week. Next week, we actually have the founders of the League Two club, One Knoxville SC, on that's coming on the show with us, and we talk about their founding and everything. And so hopefully we'll be back in some good vibes. Maybe Berhalter will still have his job by next week. Maybe not. We shall see. But as always, you can catch us on social at FTC
UTD.
All right, that's what's up. I'll take that. On Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're low key on TikTok. We post videos and everything, but that's okay. But where can they find y'all? As always, Cal and L.
Well, you can find me at Kyle Coche. You can find Featherstone at FWD Featherstone, and then you can find Walkin' 90 at Walkin' 90 Pod.
Cool.
Yep, you can find me at El Sharik up here. If you're on YouTube, you can see my at up there. Follow all of 2 Cent Sports socials. 2 Cents .sports on Instagram. 2 Cent Sport on Twitter. 2 Cents FC on Instagram and Twitter. And 2 Cents HBCU on Instagram and Twitter.
That's 4 accounts, so make sure you follow all 4 of them, and definitely give us some love, because team is growing and team's getting strong. But yeah, man, I think the storm's about to hit Atlanta, so I'm gonna do what my grandma says and unplug everything. And until this week, are you coming to the game this weekend? Or are you supposed to be out of town?
Who, me?
No, I'm talking about TK.
TK.
I need the flag, man. Like need the flag flying, man. Cool.
I just sold my tickets actually while I was down. So.
Cool. That's what's up, man. But yeah, till next week, for TK, for Cal, for L, for Yogi. Again, congrats on 100. The culture's real. The culture's everywhere. Get vaxxed up ASAPly, my people. Do that real quick. We'll holler at you guys, and we out.